Willpower burns within me.
Double kill. Double kill.
My aim is true.
Right. That's hilarious.
All lives come to an end.
Right.
You are done.
Yeah, literally, actually. You hear what they're doing. I think it was in Australia. They're putting like VR headsets over cows to like help them simulate being happy so they can produce more milk.
Is that the best you can do?
Yeah, nice. I don't know. It's a weird world that we live in.
I'm on fire.
Yeah. Stay true to who you are.
Double kill.
That way when you meet your maker, you won't show up any different.
I leave a trail of red. Ryuga wagateki wo kurau! The dragon consumes. Forged in the dragon's
Definitely.
breath.
Yeah. Just some with structure and just some kind of. Yeah.
Swift as the wind.
Double kill.
Willpower burns within me.
Right. Right.
Double kill.
Right. Definitely. I'm definitely figuring a lot of that out in real time. Right. Hey, nobody else is gonna do it for you. And the people that are gonna try to do it for you are gonna get it wrong.
I'm on fire.
Double kill.
Right.
Double kill.
Right. Right. That's why so many people like die on the insides. Like it's probably, you know, I don't know how you feel about it, but like you ever hear about those cases where people, like, you know, they go to the doctor, they're diagnosed with cancer, and then they're like, well, since I'm dying, I might as well do what the fuck I want to do, and they like chase their passion or something like that, and then all of a sudden they don't have cancer anymore. Like, like, it's crazy, but I get it.
Training complete. Firing range activated.
Right.
Training complete.
Again.
Firing range activated.
Some bullshit. Yeah. I mean, that stuff you feel like conspiracy sometimes. Like, every time. Or on some Final Destination type shit.
That'd be like being pissed at, you're like, you know, you're trying to catch a flight and then you get pissed at the pilot because the plane's not on time or something like that. It's like, you know what? It's probably for a good reason. You should probably leave it alone.
Right. Man.
Probably leave it alone.
Just let it go. Let it go.
Right. Right. You don't bring bad luck on my flight, bitch. The man do his job. Ain't trying to be playing.
Man, I swear.
Yeah. Yeah. Still gonna have to get Streets of Rage underway this week if you have time. Let's get it in.
Definitely. I mean, I go to work at 3:30 p.m. I get off work usually around midnight, and then
Like,
yeah, and then what I usually do is I'll take like a quick, you know, I gotta walk already or work out or something like that, and then I'll stream starting at 2 a.m. for, you know, roughly 2, 3, sometimes 4 hours. Take it, you know, sleep a little bit more, wake up, do whatever else I gotta do, then stream some more. So,
don't burn yourself out either. Like, you know, I know you're eager, but take it from somebody who's been doing creative stuff basically my whole life. Burnout can keep you from working for years.
yeah.
So just be careful about that. If you like doing something, pace yourself. Find another. It's like if you're that focused on it, like maybe it's not always conducive to sit and do the thing. Maybe you should do something that's related to it instead of doing that exact thing. So you don't, it's like at least you'll have some separation from the material. Because if it burns you out, then it's like, and it's a source of income, then it creates another problem because it's like you rely on it. It's like it becomes more of a chore and it's not something you enjoy. That's why I don't just jump into the workforce right after grad school. It's like, even though I could probably get any job that I wanted to now because, the scholarly pedigree and all that, but it still doesn't serve me to just jump right into stuff because, like, knowing yourself is knowing what your habits are and being able to see those patterns yourself. Like, back in New York, it's like all I did was photography. That. It's all I thought about. It's all I talked about. But it's like I was in the prime place to be doing art or music.
Right.
And now here I'm into those things like more than I've ever been. And it's like the irony of it is like I could have been doing this or that, but it's like I think that having some patience and have some like self-awareness is the best way of like really getting something valuable out of your creative like endeavor.
Right.
There is a such thing as too much of a good thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, too much. Why do you need water to like function properly? But too much of that can kill you.
Right.
So I am trying to find a balance with it. I'm doing what's kind of like most recommended, and it's. Oh, what's up, Eve Smith? Anyway, it's like if you stream on a schedule, like when you do have when you do stream, you essentially are a TV show, and like what usually happens, like imagine this is like the 90s, or let's just say it with the 90s, and you know how we would go like let's remember we were living on Blossom View, and we had a bunk bed, and every night while we're going to sleep the Cosby Show would be on. Comes on every night at the same time. And imagine if they pushed that back by an hour. Like, how mad would you be? You'd be pissed off. So like I'm
sales would go down first and foremost.
Exactly. So I'm keeping a moderately consistent schedule, and then also since I'm trying to be competitive, I do have to practice. So it's it's one of those things where it's kind of necessary. Like, put my money where my mouth is as far as practicing and playing competitively, but also like, hey, I'm here every day to entertain y'all motherfuckers. So, it's part of the game. I'm making sure I don't do too much. Definitely. But there's, it's one of those things where that's where the discipline comes into play. Like, even when I don't feel like doing it, I definitely have to push myself to do it, especially like with this type of cutthroat business. So,
you know what you also might want to check out?
What?
The DRL.
What's that?
The Drone Racing League.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Me and Ian were talking about building a drone for that. That's cool. I saw a lot of that stuff. Like, especially, I'd probably get sick if I did it initially, but, man.
Yeah, like, to be honest, like, you probably should consider getting a certification in drone. Like, it's a lot to it, but I think that with regulations slowly opening up to that, you might have a good chance at getting yourself into a good position now to be making good, like really good money doing that.
Right.
They're looking like for there's like I was looking at the jobs the other day, and I saw some stuff for like drone operating. And it's like, it's in the line of video games and whatnot. You might want to consider it.
I'll definitely look into it, especially like with my skill set. That works out like very well. As I meant to do that, I was experimenting with Raspberry Pi, but there's also a different thing called Arduino, and Arduinos are used to like build those things out. And I know vaguely how to like code all that stuff. So what I wanted to do was create a program where your drone would follow you around, and like
Booster Gold.
yeah, basically, yeah.
Or the cat from Stray.
Right, yeah.
Like Booster Gold.
Excuse me. But yeah, like there's a few applications I thought about with that. Like one is just, catching different angles for film and stuff like that. That's always, something that's desired. But also like to get into kind of dangerous territory, like what if you felt like somebody was following you or something like that, or you wanted somebody to, like, what if you had your own back essentially, like you feel like you about to get mugged, your drone like sees who that person is and reports it, just something like that. Captures suspicious behavior right away. Like, I don't know if you ever seen Watch Dogs, but just something in that vein, basically.
I don't know what you must watch in the background. She's watching that, I think, that video game guy. Apparently, this is a thing, watching people play video games. I mean, it's like, if I'm there, like, in the house with the person watching them play, it's like, I'm okay with that. Like, I could watch you play video games. But most of the time, I'd rather just play it. We're still trying to play through It Takes Two.
Man, I love that game so much.
I like the game a lot, but it's long. Huh?
I love that game so much. It Takes Two is one of the best games I've ever played.
You played through it?
Yeah, I played through the entire thing. It took me and Ian about 2 or 3 days.
Wow.
So.
Taking us months.
Oh man.
I think it's straight through, but.
So like.
Well, I think we're getting closer to the end. We're at a part where like they're inside of like a jukebox or a radio or some shit.
Uh-huh.
I guess it's like maybe the second to last level.
It's close, yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of work. Yeah, you could tell they put a lot of time into everything in that game, like from the story to the visuals to the
how you interact with your partner, and, all that stuff.
Right.
Like the thing that they just released is sick too. It's not Twisted Fiction, Split Fiction. Ian and I just played through that, and that experience was completely insane. So like,
what else does Ian do?
What do you mean?
Like, what kind of work does he do?
He so right now, Ian is. I'm thinking. So what Ian does is he goes to, like, Goodwill. He'll go to the bins where you can buy things by like how much they weigh, and then he takes all that stuff back to, like, he does it with our friend Charlie. Takes all those things back to the house and kind of lists them on eBay to resell.
Yeah.
And that's how he's paying his rent. But once COVID hit, he had a whole bunch of money saved up. He stopped working like a clock in type job, and he does that eBay thing, and he only works on music. That's all he does. And he's actually getting ready to go to Japan at the end of this month, and he's gonna play a couple shows in Japan. But he's toured with a band called Foxing. I don't know if you ever heard about them.
I've heard of Foxing before.
Yeah, he toured with them like 3 times. His music is dope. Like I
What does he go by?
Shinra Knives.
Shin.
Yeah.
Hold up, let me write this down. Spell it again.
I'll text it to you actually, but
Okay.
as a matter of fact, I'll just straight up link you my favorite thing that he's made. Shinra Knives. Was it I'll Talk or Will Talk? I'll Talk. He made a video that I actually ended up in, so that was cool. We we went to Six Flags one day, and he had this 360 camera, right? And so he would like hide the 360 camera in his coat, and then once the ride started, he'd pull it out while we were like going on the roller coasters and stuff like that. It was pretty fun. It like you had to do that and not get caught. Like that was the idea.
Yeah.
So I think that was Blackmouth. I think he did that video. Or that's what we did for that video. Shinra Knives. Blackmouth.
Wait, where did you meet him at?
We both worked at the diner.
Oh, okay.
So like for the first year or two, I didn't really talk to him aside from like obviously we're coworkers. But one day I mentioned like, oh no, or no, it wasn't me. I think it was him. He was like, oh no, Tekken, da da da, and I'm like, nah, I beat your ass in Tekken. So it was like, oh word, come over. So like, I went over there. This motherfucker whipped me like 26 times in a row. So I was like, oh, I thought I was good, but then for whatever reason I tapped into something and beat him like 26 something times in a row. And we were like, oh, did we just become best friends? And then that's when we started going to Combo Breaker too. So I won't be able to go there this year because I can't afford it. And also like the next time I go there, I do want to have like a good chance of winning and not just be there to spend money.
How much does it cost?
So since I'm going as a competitor, it's $130 registration, I want to say, and then it's $10 for each game that you're going to compete in. And then
where is held at?
It's in Chicago, yeah. Schaumburg Convention Center. So yeah, I sent you both the links.
What does he make his music with?
Ableton and a few programs that are plugins that I can't remember the name of. He only uses a laptop, like no instruments or nothing like that.
Like Skrillex.
So he figures out a way to get organic sounds from those programs. It's pretty cool. For me, I have to like whenever I do work on music, there's a certain like touch that I have to have with it. So I'm always gonna have like some type of instrument, like my guitar, my hollow body guitar. Like I've been working with that lately. But the fact that he can like get those sounds, even though he makes music that's like quote unquote unnatural, he puts a lot of natural sound into it, and I think that's kind of cool. I think his particular genre.
Picking up some of that stuff from him, like making music and stuff like that.
I am.
If he's going to Japan and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, that's where you want to be. Like, you should probably be getting more. I don't know what kind of how good your friendship is, but probably need to start sharing some ideas and getting.
We do all the time. I just yeah. No, we do all the time. We were doing that. It's just I put myself in a relationship where. Every time I talk about doing something with Ian, it became an issue. So,
she wanted all your free time to be able to
do whatever she thought I was supposed to be doing, basically. Yeah. So it was one time where she went off on me for whatever reason. I was just talking about a conversation me and Ian had, and that's for me. That's all I'm doing is I'm talking about a conversation. is like, oh yeah, Ian was like talking about how he makes smoothies better than Smoothie King, and all of a sudden Drea was like, well, I make smoothies too. I'm like, okay. All right. I don't know why what I said implied that you didn't. I'm just saying this is a conversation that he and I had. That's all. So.
You should never have to constantly defend yourself or like somebody, you know, have somebody who's hostile like that when you talk about people.
Forged in the dragon's
Yeah, it's like, it's one of those things where I didn't know how to say it in the good way, but I was like, look, like, your friends, all your friends combined, don't really amount to mine. Like, you don't have a best friend, like I do, and this is what that looks like.
That should give you clear indication of what kind of person you're dealing with. They don't have any like.
Yeah, like she has friends that she went to, like nursing school with, but it was funny is like, I talked about it a while ago, but.